Suraj, I'm going to ask you something in a more of a. I want you to answer it in a more global perspective. When we said Dalit, a lot of us just understand it's something prevalent in South Asia,
Hmm.
basically Nepal and India. I would say that
Hmm.
because I think it has a lot to do with the religion, Hinduism, and that's what we have understood so far, right? But in the global perspective, it represents a lot of other communities as well, don't it?
Yeah, I mean, we might not call them Dalits. There
Yeah.
are particular Dalits of each society, the most marginalized people who have been oppressed historically due to the traditions, and then call it an hereditary system. Similar kind of forms we can see, and that's nothing but caste. So one might not call the Dalit, but one might be an Osu of a Nigerian society. And if you go to the Mexican geography, within them there are these hierarchies of caste that exist, and very particularly, almost in any part of the world, if you dig uh, it it with a certain anthropological and sociological lens, then you will get it. Many times, what people did is to not probe that question and just look at through as a color problem, because colonization happened in past 200 years, which was very strong, and then sometimes 300-400 years. It kind of predates, but the impact was in this kind of centuries. So much of the history that we read now is a modern history of past few hundred years. So many people who challenge that colonial history, they kind of go pre-colonial. But when you go pre-colonial, it's not like a very beautiful story always. Sometimes it is, but not always, because there's been people who are working on somebody's land for so many centuries, perpetual chattel slavery. And then so globally, we have to understand that the structure of caste is global. So caste exists as a society. Somewhere it is, people are ranking each other based on their color, their ethnicity, the kind of language they speak, and it's everywhere. So nobody should have this moral high that we don't have caste in our society. I think it's just about time when researchers have to be investigated in that term. By confining it to South Asia, what we do is we just essentialize what caste means in our part of the world, which is true, which it is. I mean, there's no second thought about. But also, there can be a potential investigation in other societies as well. Now, having said that, many people think that I'm giving a green pass to the Brahmins of societies. Like, hey, you're saying, like, so that the Brahmins can say, listen, we are not the worst people. It's everywhere in the world, so it's normalized. I mean, a violence against women in one part of the world doesn't mean that it is normal. Violence everywhere is violence, be against a woman or a person of any person of the background, and but many times this debate is twisted and turned around, and so today now there are new researchers, people doing, and myself writing a book which kind of looks at it in a much more global perspective. But irrespective of that, right? I mean, so much migration out of South Asia is happening in the world. Everywhere you go, definitely you'll find South Asians. I mean, and also it's like one of the most populated regions, right? And on top of that, it has an exodus of people of different kind of labor. So naturally, when they go settle, make their home, let's say in Australia, I mean, there's been research, like Mitra Pariya did a research on Nepali Dalits and how caste is among the Gurungs and among the Newari community, and how it reproduces. Then there is this Khas Arya kind of mix. It's very interesting how it kind of reforms. So it is really becoming this global phenomenon already, and we can see that happening through various legislations in the US. UK has already been debating for nearly 20 years now.
Okay.